Welcome to Commander Pat Alesia. Alesia, right?
Alesia, you got it right.
Alesia.
Thank you.
Heard exclusively on MalcolmPresents.com. And Pat is the commander of the Nassau County American Legion. And we had covered some of those facts in a previous show. Pat, what did you want to talk about today?
Okay, yeah, I wanted to talk about one assignment that I had in the New York Army National Guard, where I was able to combine both my military background and my educational background. And in the Guard, we had a facility up at Camp Smith called the Empire State Military Academy. That academy was responsible for training enlisted men, NCOs, and officers. As a major in the New York Army National Guard, I was invited to attend as part of the Training and Evaluation Committee. And what that committee did is we certified all the instructors prior to the instructor going on the podium. So it's kind of the first time there was a mix of education and military, so that we would give them, or they would give us a time, and we would go to a office and the instructor would present his period of instruction. If it was a go, then no problem. If it was a no-go, we had to make recommendations, and he had a day or two, or she had a day or two to correct them and then move forward. But the interesting thing is that was as a major. And I did the same thing for about 3 or 4 years. Eventually, I was promoted to full bird colonel, and at that time, I became the Training and Evaluation Committee chief. So I was no longer working for the committee. I was in charge of the committee.
You were the committee.
I was the committee. And the thing that followed is that several years later, after I became the 42nd Infantry Division Divarti commander, my next assignment was the commandant of the Empire State Military Academy. So at that point, I ran the entire academy. So again, it was the military and the educational coming together, and they got the most out of me, I feel. And it was very gratifying and enjoyable assignment.
Mm-hmm. Now, are they full-time? I mean, is that full-time or how?
No, what we would do is, it was like a second 2-week tour. You know, as I told you in the last podcast, I went to Fort Drum for my 2-week tour. That was with my unit of assignment. This was like an extra tour, and it was conducted at Camp Smith in Peekskill, New York. Uh-huh. And you got paid separately, which was also good and motivating.
Well, I'm completely a novice of anything that happens in the Army, and again, I hate to say it, I wasn't anti-soldier, but I was anti-military.
Okay, everybody, this is America. Everybody's into
because again, I grew up during the Vietnam War, which was very unpopular, which I didn't think we were supposed to be there.
Sure.
And this was after I was too young for the Korean War, but I know the people I spoke to, said we had no business being in Korea either.
And remember, Malcolm, you and I went to the same college where I could not wear my uniform during my senior year because of the protesters.
Yeah, I remember when I walked on the campus, and this was 1961. They had the it wasn't Progressive Labor Party. I forget, it was
SDS. Students for a Democratic Society.
Right, the SDS. They were picketing the war, and at that time nobody knew there was a war.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because there was military action, but I don't think the came to a full-blown battle. I think it was never a war anyway. I think it was a military.
It was never a declared war, right?
Right. But I think it didn't blow up till Bay of Tonkin. Mm-hmm. Where supposedly they attacked us, but again, in retrospect, that was untrue. Mm-hmm. But this is when we really sent the heavy military in, and that's when. And this was when, this is when the mainstream population got anti-Vietnam. But anyway, I'm just explaining my background, why I was sort of, but again, which I was always against, is that people that were badmouth soldiers because they were obeying orders. Some of them believed in it. Some just were doing this was their job and they thought this was patriotic.
Correct.
And so I just want to explain myself when I say I'm anti-military.
No problem. No problem.
I'm not anti-soldiers.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
But anyway, let's get back to
Okay.
the American Legion because I'm
Okay, so
fascinated by it.
what I wanted to touch briefly on is general membership in the American Legion.
Yeah.
In the past, those veterans who served in formally recognized conflicts could join the American Legion upon retirement or getting out of the Army. In other words, if you served in Vietnam or during the Vietnam era, in Korea, World War II, Afghanistan, Iraq, you were able to become a member of the American Legion. However, if you served in the armed forces during time periods where we were not engaged in a formal conflict, you cannot join the American Legion. Okay, so what happened is the American Legion pushed and got what we call the Legion Act, which was signed into law on July 30th, 2019. And basically what that act did was to say any American who was honorably discharged from December 1st, 1941 to the present could become a member of the American Legion and access the benefits of the Legion. Now, go ahead. No, go ahead.
That was recently. That's surprising.
Yes. This was just in 2019, but it was significant because what it did, it opened up over 6 million individuals who could now, if they wanted to join the American Legion, can join. Okay, and now the question is, why did the American Legion push for this? Because there was over 1,600 veterans who were either killed or wounded during those gaps in formally recognized wars, and they wanted to honor them, which was great. That was very significant also. But the end result of it is now it opened up the American Legion to a lot more individuals who might be able to participate. Now, the big problem that happened, this happened in July, but as you and I both know, 6 months later, we were hit with this pandemic,
right?
Which kind of nullified the effect of that bill. And I'll tell you, and sometime in September or early October of this year, we're going to have a memorial ceremony at Eisenhower Park for all the American Legionnaires who we lost during the pandemic.
Where is Eisenhower Park?
It's in Garden City.
Gardens.
Yeah. And what I was saying is, at last count, we had over 100 Legionnaires who are no longer with us as a result of the virus. Now, some of them for other reasons, but most died because of the virus, because you have to understand, in the American Legion, I'm 73 and I'm one of the younger persons in some of the, in some of the posts, we have people in their 80s and 90s, so we're affected more seriously by the virus.
Why do you think that the Legion doesn't draw the younger crowd? The ones that served Afghanistan or the Middle East, or the ones that basically just got out?
Okay, basically it appears that they have so much going on that they don't want to spend the time in the American Legion. They either recently married, have 1 or 2 jobs, or things of that nature. Now,
Uh-oh, you're freezing. I don't know whether you can hear me or not, but you're frozen. So let's see, continue. Let's see what happens.
Join the American Legion now.
Yeah.
Pay your dues. You don't have to participate if you don't want to, but that's up to you. But my point what I always stress to them is when you get a little bit older and have more time to participate, the American Legion will still be around. However, if we don't get membership, we're going to have some difficulties down the road.
What are the benefits of joining? Let's say I just got out. Why would I want to join it, aside from the fact that you do a humanistic, that you're good for, charity work? But what about, what's in it for me?
Well, what's in it for you is that, number one, you are a member of an organization, and that organization pushes for veterans' rights in lobbying in Washington, which is something that happened recently with the GI Bill, where now we have the GI Bill for life, meaning if you come out of the Army and 10, 12, 15 years from now, you want to go to college, you'll be covered by the GI Bill.
Yeah.
When I came out of the military, I did use the GI Bill, but I had a period of time that I had to use it. I think it was 10 or 12 years, and then that was it. But now it's called a lifetime bill. Mm-hmm. So if you have a change of occupation down the road, you could go back to school, and the GI Bill will still take care of you. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the other thing is camaraderie. You go to meetings, you talk to people, you meet people, you support different activities. So it's a pleasant experience, that's for sure. Mm.
Are you doing anything in particular to attract a youthful group, like those in their 20s and 30s?
Well, we try, like, for instance, if you have any street fairs on Long Island, we'll set up a booth and give out little trinkets and this and that. Speak at different organizations to try to get membership. Membership in the American Legion today is everybody's responsibility. I went to a meeting once of another organization that I am a member of, and we started talking about the American Legion, and I found out that 3 or 4 people at the table belonged to the American Legion, but never attended any meetings. So I convinced them to transfer to my post in Malvern, and now they attend meetings, and they, influence little things that are going on in the post. So it's wherever you could go. We even go into elementary schools during Memorial Day and Veterans Day to talk to the kids about the American flag and the American Legion. It's a mindset that one has to develop, really.
Did you ever wear your uniform?
Sometimes.
You still fit into it?
Yes, I do. Well, I had a new uniform made several years ago. Yeah. But I still fit into my mess blues and dress blues.
Good.
But when we go into schools, we're not in uniform. We're in civilian attire with maybe an American Legion shirt on and our hats.
Yeah, as I say, the thing that I'm familiar with the American Legion is more their, sort of like the charity work. I used to organize a concert Memorial Day at the Van Nuys Sherman Oaks War Memorial Park.
Oh, okay.
And I used to organize a concert with Harris Height band. Mm-hmm. They always sent patriotic songs, and it was again the local American Legion helped. Or they backed it. They didn't sponsor it by cash, but they I got to understand.
Did they might have provided a color guard or something like that.
Yeah, the cookies and what was fun was at the end of it, like they do in Washington. Harris played all the fight. I guess we would call fight songs from the Air Force and the Marines, and say anyone in the Marines stand up, and they would stand up and salute. And
well, we recently had a ceremony at park in Long Island where the town of Hempstead was Salute to Veterans Night. And they gave out 5 awards to 5 different veterans, and the American Legion provided the color guard, and they also provided food. And it really was a nice night. Food, entertainment, fireworks. So it's a community effect.
Yeah. Do you ever do like fundraising events where there maybe like go to the baseball game and have part of the ticket given to a certain charity or a group, or do a golf tournament or a baseball tournament, things like that?
Yeah. We could go to the local Ducks. Long Island Ducks have a park, and they have a situation where for X amount of money, you go, you see the game, you have a hot dog and a drink, and you charge a little bit extra for the ticket, and then that money goes into the various funds that we have to support veterans.
Yeah, because
so we do that, yes.
Because I can only imagine, especially the combat veterans who have seen action. I can't imagine.
Well, I was going to say, one of the other things we do is we have a stand down for veterans at the Freeport Armory. So it's twice a year. And the last time we did it, we had to do a drive-through. And what they do is the veterans drive through, someone checks them in, gets their size, and then they're given different items to take home with them. And they don't even have to get out of their car. They pull around. They open their trunk, put a big bag into the trunk, and they're away. So there are a lot of different things we do to support the veterans. That's for sure.
Total in your Nassau County, approximately how many members are there?
We have a little bit less than 4,000 members.
And this is the 50 different posts, you said?
Yeah, between 50 and 53 different posts. Now, the posts are divided into divisions. We have 3 divisions: First Division, Second Division, Third Division. And we try to align them by location, really. The South Shore, North Shore, East Shore. So it's try to keep them together as possible as we can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And this is also national, right? As far as how many would you say nationally there are, the American Legion?
Oh, nationally, I would say we're about 2 million members.
2 million members. That's quite a lot.
That includes the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion. So combined, it might be 2 million or a little bit over 2 million members.
Now, you had mentioned that even non-combatant soldiers were, or you could join as long as you were a member of the armed services. 2019. How about the auxiliary? Were they instituted before? Could you be an auxiliary member?
Yes. Oh, yes. The auxiliary is that if you are a wife or a daughter or a niece of a member of the American Legion, you can join the auxiliary.
Okay, so now that must open a lot. Once you could get other members to, the soldiers who were not part of the war.
Yeah. It opened up the pool available to a very significant degree. Now we have to get out there and get them and bring them in.
Right. Are there dues, or is it cost to join?
Yes, the dues are for the American Legion. It's $40 a year.
For $40 a year.
Yeah, and for the auxiliary, it's $20 a year, and for the Sons of the American Legion, it's $15 a year.
And are there any exemptions for people who have problems making even $40 might be a lot? I'm thinking of the homeless.
Well, if we had if we had someone to come along that says they wanted to join and they were having a problem, we would help them out, no doubt about it. Okay. Yeah, no problem there.
Yeah, now again, let's get into your charity work. What does the American Legion do?
Okay, I'm going to talk about one in particular. First off, the American Legion is designed on the 4 pillars of service. Just going to read them to you. Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, National Security, Americanism, and Children and Youth. Now, under those major titles are various subtitles. And one of the subtitles under Americanism is Operation Comfort Warrior. Okay, now, this is an organization that aids wounded veterans while they're in the hospitals by providing them with equipment or material that the federal government doesn't provide. What do we mean by that? Toiletries, clothing, electronics, adaptive sports equipment, and things of that nature. And what they also do is they provide, for instance, at a military hospital, they may provide picnics or dinners for the wounded veterans while they're recovering at the hospital. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, the question is, how do we get funds to support Operation Comfort Warrior? Okay, and keeping in mind that 100% of the money that is donated to Comfort Warrior is spent on veterans. Okay, in the county, as the county commander, I have a staff, and in addition to the staff, I have committee chairpersons who chair many different committees, one of which is Operation Comfort Warrior. What the committee chairman does, sometime in mid-September, the end of September, he will send out a letter to all 52 or 53 posts that we have in Nassau County, requesting donations to support this Operation Comfort Warrior. We usually ask for $1 per paid member, or as much as the post is willing to donate. That donation is sent to the chairperson, who records it and then sends it to the county treasurer, who puts it in a fund dedicated to Operation Comfort Warrior. When the need arises, money is, and again, we do this at a county meeting whereby a motion will be made and it'll be approved by everyone in attendance, and then that money is given to whatever agency we want in order to support veterans in need. Mm-hmm. Okay. And in the county, we have about 40 or so beacon houses. And what they are is they provide shelter for homeless families, homeless veteran families and children. So what we do, we are in touch with the Beacon House when they need certain things to support their operation, whether it be toiletries, clothing, whatever they might need, electronics, they let us know. And then we purchase the items for them and deliver them to the various Beacon homes throughout Nassau County. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of an elaborate operation, but that's just one of many different organizations that we have within the county that supports veterans across the board.
And how do you promote these services to the veterans? Or in fact, some of them that might not even be involved with the American Legion.
Well, if they wind up in a Beacon house because they're homeless, mm-hmm. they automatically are going to benefit from the fact that we support the Beacon houses. You know what I'm saying? So it's I guess it's got to also do to a degree of publicity where you let people know by indicating that we have these houses available and we support them. And we also have the capability to provide wheelchairs and walkers and canes and motorized wheelchairs to people in need.
Do you do community outreach where you go into the community outreach where you go into the community to tell, vets or the homeless or whoever that you are there and you are available for them?
Well, individual posts have different activities throughout the year whereby they are involved in community activity. And obviously we let them know what's available and how to go about getting it. So it's a family approach, and it's done throughout the year.
Yeah, as I say, I'd love to get to some of the different posts that you have in Nassau County to find out what they're doing with the community.
Okay, that's something that we could focus on in one of the podcasts. I'll ask one or two post commanders if they would be willing to come on and discuss it with us.
Yeah, because to me that's as we were talking earlier off the air about I said I'll probably have Reverend Harper on here, talking about what we could do for God, or men being in service of God versus God being in the service of man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the things that you do, whether you're religious or not, is to help your fellow human being.
That's what we try to do.
Yeah, and that's fascinating. So now, as a commander, you oversee all these operations?
Yeah, I'm responsible for the 53 posts, but again, I don't do it individually. I have 3 vice commanders who are in charge of each division. So the vice commanders report to me. If there's a problem, then I'm available, and my staff is available to assist them. And also, I get calls from individual post commanders. My philosophy is I'm a commander, they're commander. They can discuss anything they want with me, and I'm willing to listen and try to help them move forward.
Yes, sometimes I have a demented mind, and I'm thinking, vice commanders. He's in charge of vice.
No, you don't have a demented mind. No, they work very hard, and they each have about normally they would have about 18 or 19 posts to handle, but this year it's a little more difficult because I am missing a vice commander for the 3rd division. So what I did was I broke up the 3rd division and assigned them 10 posts to each 1st and 2nd division. So at least those post commanders know they have someone they can outreach to if there is a problem, as opposed to just being out there on their own.
Do you like, when you go into it, do you salute, or basically you're civilians?
No. When we have a county meeting, we're in the county uniform, which is a blue blazer, a blue shirt, my county tie, gray pants, and black socks and shoes.
Yeah. Do you salute each other, or it's not?
When during the meeting, when a individual comes up to the podium to make a report, he salutes the flag and he salutes me, and I return the salute. Even though they may not be in uniform, that's the procedure that we follow. Yes.
And do you start off each meeting with a Star Spangled Banner or a Pledge of Allegiance, or?
No, we start off each meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. We also have a POW MIA little speech that is made. And we recite the preamble of the American Legion Constitution, and then we begin the meeting. It's a set procedure that you follow at every meeting.
Uh-huh. And generally, how many people come to a meeting in the posts? Okay.
In the post, for instance, if I have a meeting on Wednesday, we might have between 15 and 20 members at the meeting. Now, I had a county meeting, as I told you, last Friday, and we had a pretty good turnout. We had over 40 individuals present, and that's my staff, past county commanders, and post commanders.
Mm-hmm. Now, each individual post, can that be like a meeting room, a club where members could come and play cards, or just watch cable television? I mean, are there facilities like that?
Yes.
As you said, for camaraderie.
Yes. And some posts have bars that can be utilized after a meeting or for activities during the year.
With alcohol?
Yes. Oh, yes. You have to have a alcohol license, and you have to have bartenders who go through a school to be certified as a bartender, and everything is monitored very carefully.
And do you rent are the rooms large enough to rent it out for weddings or affairs or parties or?
That's where most of the posts make their major financial income
Ah,
through rentals of the posts.
so is each post financed separately, or is when they make money, do they have to give it to the county fund, or that each individual post earns their own income?
Each post is a separate entity and they earn their own income.
And do they have to give back any to the national
No, you the only money you give back to national is when you pay your dues, which is $40.
And that goes all to national?
Yeah, well, that goes to national, and they do send, I think, $1.50 back per member at some point in time. But you have to remember that the post has to pay insurance. The post has to pay for electricity.
Right.
So the money that they make from these rentals helps pay that activity. And some of the posts have grounds that have to be maintained. So it's you make money, but you're using it to monitor the post and maintain the post. And we had a difficult problem over the last year and a half because that income was not available.
There's no income, yeah.
Things are starting to open up now, and we're beginning to make rentals, which should help, financially down the road.
Well, hopefully with this show, we could promote the various posts and what they can do, and it should be interesting. Did you ever, like put together shows or entertainment, like with groups that sing or comedians or things like that, and do shows?
No, well, we haven't done it at the post level, but the county, Nassau County, on September, wait a minute, now it's August 29th, is having a Salute to Veterans Night at Eisenhower Park. And their main attraction is going to be Tony Orlando, who has performed for veterans in the past and does an outstanding job. So we might attract 4,000 or 5,000 people to that outdoor open air concert.
Yeah. If you listen to MalcolmPresents.com, my show, I have various shows on there. One of them I have, it's called Phil Margo, The Lion Roars. And Phil was he's one of the founding member of the Tokens, which was The Lion Sleeps Tonight, or Wimoweh.
Yeah.
And he's getting various rock people on our show that we interview. In fact, I'm trying to get him to do the Tokens again and do a tour.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, and then there's another show that I am starting, which I started, a guy named Stewie Stone, who is a comedian, member of the Friars Club. We might do something with old comedians. So we might be able to, work with you guys and putting on shows for fundraisers.
And that'd be great. That'd be great.
But anyway, believe it or not, half hour's up. You heard my little beep, beep, beep.
I didn't hear it, but that's okay.
I have my little watch.
Oh, okay.
I think over a half hour, people get bored.
Yeah.
But anyway, looking forward, next week to have, do you have any idea what you want to talk about? Since I am a co-host. Yeah. You're the one that really knows about.
Well, what I'd like to do is invite some of the members of either the auxiliary and the Sons and the Legion Riders that would give you a little more insight into their individual operations.
Good, yeah.
And from there, what we can do is maybe outreach to some of the different programs at the county, and then outreach to some of the different posts where you can get a flavor of what different posts do during their operations.
That would be great, because again, we have, now we have 2 screens. I could do 3, 4, 5, 6 screens, or as many as we need. It would be
maybe no more than 2 people at a time. So we should be okay.
But we could do whole groups. I haven't tried it yet, but I think most of it is I've had 4 people on at a time, because I'm the one that has to tell people, okay, shut up.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because what happens is, since we can't make eye contact, like when you're within a group.
Right.
Person, you either make eye contact so you know when someone wants to say something.
Sure.
Over here, it's kind of hard, so I have to be, okay, that's enough said. But anyway, it was great speaking to you again, and I look
Thank
forward
you.
to our next show of, I'm gonna play this on Friday. I mean,
Okay.
we missed the show because of technical difficulty.
Yes.
And it seems like, well, we did freeze for about 30 seconds. So you will see that in the show. But
Okay.
otherwise, we went fine. But we will do this. Well, actually, people can see it anytime this afternoon, or, in about 3 hours. I shall have this on malcolmpresents.com.
Okay.
I won't promote it till Friday, but you can promote it. But it'll be on.
And then we're looking to do it again sometime next week.
Yeah, next week we can go back to a regular time.
So
We could
Friday?
do Friday at 2 o'clock, if that's fine with you.
Okay.
We'll do that.
That's good. That's good.
So you have a great time.
Thank you, Malcolm, and enjoy the rest of the week. And I appreciate your help.
And send my love to CCNY.
Will do.
I want to go back and walk up Vinegar Hill, from
You will not
127.
recognize it. You will not recognize it.
I'm looking forward to it. What I'm disappointed, I think you told me the Lewiston Stadium isn't there anymore?
Nope, gone. Big science building has replaced Lewiston Stadium.
That was graduation we had in Lewiston Stadium.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember seeing. There's a movie called The George Gershwin Story. And at the end of it, where Oscar Levant is playing Rhapsody in Blue, and it's in Gershwin Stadium. And it starts out with a close-up of Oscar with the piano, and it draws back to the stage, and then it draws back, and you see the whole city in the background.
Is that right?
Yeah, I always love that. Anyway, have a great week.
Okay, thank you. Same to you, Malcolm.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.